Now, let's proceed on to the theory section of Wassce 2023. And let's begin with question 1. Question 1 has two parts, A and B. Let's begin with A. A says a car travels a distance. Okay, it travels a distance of 112 kilometers at an average speed of 70 kilometers per hour. And it then travels another 60 kilometers at an average speed of 50 kilometers per hour. Calculate for the entire journey the total time taken. Now, this is a simple question that relates speed with distance and time. So what is the formula for speed? Speed is equals to distance divided by time. And we can find time by making time to formula. So time will be equals to distance divided by speed. So let's call distance of 112 kilometers at 70 kilometers per hour scenario 1, and this will be scenario 2. So that means I'm saying that at scenario 1, that means when I'm considering the first scenario, I'm saying that D1 is equals to 112 kilometers, and speed 1, that's S1, is equals to 70 kilometers per hour. Similarly, in scenario 2, I am saying that my distance D2 is 60 kilometers and my speed S2 is 50 kilometers per hour. The time taken for T1 is unknown. The time taken for T2 is unknown. Now, the question is asking us to find the total time taken. The total time taken, capital T, will be the sum of the two times. That's T1 plus T2. The question now is, what is T1 and what is T2? So we apply T1 and T2 using this formula here, that time T is equals to distance D divided by speed S. So let's begin with this first part. We're given D, speed, and we're looking for time, and we know that time is equals to distance over speed. So T1 is equals to D1 divided by S1, which will be 112 divided by 70. 112 kilometer per hour, 112 kilometer divided by 70 kilometer, and this will have 1.6. The unit is hour. Similarly, in this case, we are looking for T2. T2 will be equals to D2 divided by S2. So we are saying it will be equals to 60 divided by 50 kilometers per hour, which will be equals to 1.2 hours. So the total time taken, capital T, that's total time taken, will be equals to T1 plus T2, which will be equals to 1.6 plus 1.2 hours. And this will be equals to 2.8 hours. 2.8 hours can be interpreted to be equals 2 hours 48 minutes. That's for A part. You can see it's very simple. Now moving on, let's proceed to B. In the B parts, we're given that X divided by Y, X over Y is equals to 2, Y over Z is equals to 3. We should find the value of X plus Y divided by Y plus Z. Now this is a very interesting question, but how do we solve it? That's the matter. We're given X over Y and we're given Y over Z, and if you look at all these things, we have just X, okay, we have Y, and we have Y just as we have Z. There's no occurrence of X over Y in the question, and also there's no occurrence of Y over Z in the question. So how do we go about this? So if we divide numerator and denominator by Y, so I'm saying X plus Y, and I'm dividing the numerator by Y. Go further, Y plus Z, and I'm also dividing the numerator by Y. Now we'll see the occurrence now. We'll see X over Y here, and we also see the inverse of y over z, which is z over y. So we can now proceed on with the question. So let's simplify this further. This will give us x over y plus y over y. Y over y is 1. Y over y here is also equals to 1. However, z over y, what is z over y? We have to put it z over y in terms of y over z. Now if you go to explanation on inverse, we understand that z over y will be equals to 1 divided by y over z, because when we change this sign here, it is 1 multiplied by z over y. This is reciprocated, so z over y is equals to 1 divided by y over z. So let's implement that, and we'll say z over y is 1 divided by y over z. Now with this, all we just have to do is to make our substitution. So x over y is equals to 2, so this will be 2 plus 1 over y over z, which is equals to 3. So that is 1 over 3. So with this, we just simplify the numerator and the denominator. So the numerator is equals to 3. The denominator will involve LCM. So the LCM is 3, and this will give us into 3 plus 1. Yeah, 3 plus 1, and this will be 3 divided by 4 over 3. So 3 divided by 4 over 3 is going to be written as this. Then if we change it to a multiplication sign, we'll have it to give us 3 multiplied by 3 over 4, and the answer will be 9 over 4. So you can see how we came from x plus y to x over y plus y over y, where we divided the numerator and denominator by y. So this is for question 1. Let's proceed to question 2. Now let's proceed to question number 2. Question number 2 says that in a football match, the tickets for children and adults were sold at $3 and $5 respectively. So it says that tickets for children is $3, 3D, and tickets for adults is $5 respectively. Now the next line of question: if 400 people attended the football, so let's represent children with X and let's represent adults with Y. So if 400 people attend the football match, okay, that means we are saying that the total number of children and adults, X plus Y, is equals to 400, and $1,700 was collected in ticket sales. That means when we have these two now, children and adults, okay, the children pays $3 per person, okay, if adults pay $5 per individual, and the two sum up to give us 1,700. So the question now says how many tickets were sold to adults. So that means we are looking for Y. Okay, let's go over this again. In the football match, the tickets for children, we are representing children as X, is $3, and the ticket for adults is $5. If 400 people attend the football match, X plus Y is equals to 400, and the total amount they paid, that the ticket sales made, was 1,700. So that means the sum of children plus the sum of adults will be equals to the cumulative sum of 1,700, and we are looking for Y. So when we are looking for Y now, we can say X plus Y is equals to equation 1, 3X plus 5Y is equals to equation 2. So as easy, let's use substitution method. We can say let X be equals to, find the formula for X as 400 minus Y from equation 1, and we'll call this equation 3. Now let's substitute equation 3 into equation 2. Then the resulting equation 2 will be 3. Wherever we see x, we put 400 minus y plus 5y is equals to 1700. And if you open the brackets here, we'll have 1200 minus 3y plus 5y is equals to 1700. So simplifying further, we'll have 1200 plus 2y is equals to 1700. This moves to the left hand side, or the right hand side rather, and we'll have 1700 minus 1200, and 2y will be equals to 500 and y will be equals to 250. So in essence, we are saying that the number of adults, number of tickets sold to adults is 250, and we have solved for A. Now let's proceed further. If Mr. Sonko sold 250 tickets, if Mr. Sonko, that's a ticket sales attendee, sold 250 tickets, that's B. So we are saying that the total tickets he sold is equals to 250, and 175 were for adults. So we are saying adults is equals to 175. So the children, okay, will be equals to 250 minus 175, and this will be equals to 75. Now, how much sales did he make altogether? Now, sales will be the equals to the number of children multiplied by the ticket for children, or let's say ticket price for children, plus, okay, so we are going to add this to multiply by the number of adults. So we just duplicate number of adults multiplied by the ticket price for adults. So what is the total sales now? The number of children is equals to 75. The ticket price for children in the question, just as we have here, ticket price for children is $3. So multiply by 3. Number of adults is 175, and the ticket price for adults is $5. So this will be multiplied by 5. So if we simplify this together, 75 multiplied by 3 is 225, and 175 multiplied by 5 is 875. These added together will give us $1,100.00. So the sales he made all together, let's call it total sales, or just simply sales, is equals to $1,100. Now let's move on to question number 3. In this question, we have a diagram, and it says in the diagram, PQR is an equilateral triangle of side 18 centimeters. So we're given that PQR is 18 centimeters each, and this is 18 centimeters. Now M is the midpoint. M is the midpoint of QR. So that means this side MR will be 9 centimeters and QM will also be 9 centimeters. Now, an arc of a circle with center P. So this is an arc with center P. It touches QR at M. So if we draw a perpendicular distance of the arc at center P, so touches QR at M, so this base is perpendicular, then the arc itself will have a radius of R. So this will be radius R, and this length AP will also be radius R. Remember that radius R is not equals to 18 centimeters, please. Radius R. In the same vein, we will have that PB is also equals to radius R. The question now says calculate correct to 2 decimal places the area of the shaded portion. Now, how do we find the area of the shaded portion? We know that P, this whole thing here, is a sector, okay, and we know that PQR is a triangle. So the area of the shaded region will be equals to what? So in simple terms, the area of shaded region, let's put it here, area of shaded region SH will be the area of triangle minus the area of sector. So let's call this triangle. Let's just write it in full, and let's call this, instead of S, we'll just write shaded. So let us find the area of triangle in this case, and also the area of sector. So to fully do this well, let's involve some angles. PQR is an equilateral triangle, so each side will be equal to 60 degrees. This will also be 60 degrees, and this angle here will be 60 degrees. From here to here is 60 degrees. Now this has divided it perpendicularly, so that means this side is 30 degrees and this side is 30 degrees. So let's proceed and let us find the area of triangle. To find the area of triangle, we can use so many formulas. Okay, we can solve it in 2 ways, but I will choose to go with the simplest ways. So the area of triangle, a triangle, is equals to 1/2 AB sine theta. So this is one formula of area of triangle that is not commonly used, and we'll solve it in 2 ways so that we'll compare the answers. So the AB are the sides, and the sides are 18 centimeters. So let's just apply it. So this will be 1/2 multiplied by 18 multiplied by 18, and the angle will be 60 degrees because it's an equilateral triangle, multiplied by sine 60 degrees. So implementing this, so we'll have 1/2 multiplied by 18. 1/2 multiplied by 18 will give us 9. Okay, so this will nullify and we'll be left with 9. So we'll have 9 multiplied by 18, and sine 60 degrees is 0.8660. It doesn't have degrees, and this will be equals to 140.292 centimeters squared. Now it can be as simple as this, but then we can also make it a bit long in a way. So if we look at this triangle now, let's bring out this triangle, and triangle PMR is right angled at triangle PMR, because I understand that not everybody is familiar with the formula of area of triangle as half AB sine theta. So this is right angled at this. The angle here is 30 degrees, length 8 centimeters, and the height, as you can see, the height here is R. The base is 9 centimeters. Now we can find the length R. We can choose to use Pythagoras theorem, or we use sine theta or SOHCAHTOA. So let us replicate this triangle here and duplicate, and we'll have it here. So let us find R now. Let's use SOHCAHTOA. I love using it. SOHCAHTOA means sine is equals to opposite over hypotenuse, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, tan is opposite over adjacent. So when we are considering, let's consider 60 degrees, R will be opposite, and this will be our hypotenuse, and this will be our adjacent. So we are saying that sine 30, or no, sine 60 degrees will be equals to R opposite divided by hypotenuse 18. So our R will be equals to 18 sine 60 degrees, and this will give us 18 multiplied by 0.8660, which is equals to 15.588 centimeters. Now if we have R to be equals to 15.588 centimeters, let's write it here. R is equals to 15.588 centimeters. We can now find the area of triangle. because we know that the area of this triangle, okay, the area of this triangle here is equals to half base times height, and this will be 1 over 2 multiplied by the base is 9 centimeters, and the height is r, which we just evaluated, and r is equals to 18.588 multiplied by 15. Okay, is it 15 or 18? 15.588 rather centimeters. So if you use a calculator for this, 1 over 2 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 15.588, we will have a result of 70.146 centimeters squared. Now you can see something. It is not the same value, but it shows that this is half of this value. Now where is the half coming from? Because the triangle we are considering is triangle PQR. That is the total triangle we are considering, but the angle of triangle we solved is triangle PMR, and triangle PQR is the same as having these two triangles, because we will notice there will be, okay, let's just do something. Let's have a paint. Now we'll notice something interesting, that this triangle is equivalent to this triangle, like similar triangles. They are equal in nature. So if they are equal in nature, therefore we will just multiply them together to have the total angle. Remember, this is triangle, let's change this to pen. This is triangle PMR. So the area of triangle PQR now will be equals to 2 times area of triangle PMR, area of triangle PMR. So in view of this, let us find the area of triangle. So this will give us 2 multiplied by 70.146, and multiplying this out, we will have it to give us 140.292 centimeters squared. Now we can see it's equal. So whichever way we find using solving for area of triangle, we will arrive at the same answer. So now moving on, we have evaluated the area of triangle. Now the next thing is to evaluate what's the area of sector. Now what is the formula for area of sector? Let's use the red ink to write that. Area of sector is equals to theta divided by 360 degrees multiplied by pi r squared. R is the radius, and we have evaluated the radius. Okay, theta is the angle projected by the arc. So theta is equals to 60 degrees. It's not equals to 30 degrees, and it's not equals to 30 degrees here. It's the angle projected by the arc AB, which is 60 degrees. Now let's apply that. So applying this now, we'll have theta 60 divided by 360 degrees multiplied by pi. We're taking pi to be 22 over 7. We are taking the radius. We evaluated the radius to give us 15.588 centimeters squared. So once we square this and we solve it, we will have the area of sector to give us, this is 360. Okay, we'll have the area of sector to give us 127.227 centimeters squared. Now we have evaluated the area of sector. Now the final thing now is to evaluate the area of shaded points. So we have evaluated the area of sector. Now let us evaluate the area of shaded, which is the question itself. So we come right here and say area of shaded is equals to area of triangle minus area of sector. So the area of shaded now will be equals to area of triangle. The area of triangle we evaluated using the two formulas is 140.292, and the area of sector is 127.227. Now you subtract this together, we'll have 13.065. Remember, the unit is centimeter squared. If we go back to the question says we should correct to 2 decimal places. Correcting to 2 decimal places, we will have 13.07 centimeter squared. So 2 decimal places. So yes, this brings us to the end of this question, and I trust we established understanding. Let's move on to the next question, question 4. Now let's solve question number 4. In question number 4, we're given this diagram, and in the diagram, PQRS are points on the circle with center K. Now we're given that KR is a bisector of SRQ. So KR, okay, this is bisecting this angle equal to, so let's call it X and let's call this X. So that means the two angles are equal. Now we're also given that KSP, that is this angle, is 41 degrees, and SKR, which is this angle, is 80 degrees. We should find the angle RQP. That means we are looking for RQP, which is this angle. Let's call it A, and angle SKR. An angle SPQ, okay, which is this angle. Let's call it B. So this is a very interesting concept, and now let's solve together. If you look closely to this triangle now, okay, the triangle KRS, you will notice that this is the radius and also this is the radius, and this looks like this gives us an isosceles triangle, and in an isosceles triangle the base angles are equal. So this will be equals to X. Now in view of that, let's find the value of angle RSK. So that means we are considering triangle RKS, and in triangle RKS, if you draw the triangle out, we have something like this. Okay, we have 80 degrees, we have X, and we have X. This is R, no, this is K, RS. So with this, we can find the value of X. So the value of X is such that when we sum all the angles together, X plus 80 degrees, it will be equals to 180. Why? Because the sum of angles in a triangle is equals to 180 degrees. So with this, we'll have 2x is equals to plus 80 degrees is equals to 180 degrees, and we will have 2x to be equals to 180 degrees minus 80 degrees, and we have 2x to be equals to 100, and dividing both sides by 2, x will be equals to 100 degrees divided by 2, and you will have that x is equals to 50 degrees. X is equals to 50 degrees. Now with that, let's go back to the diagram and impute the values of 50 degrees. So x here is 50 degrees, x here is 50 degrees, and similarly x here is equals to 50 degrees. Now let's focus on the question proper. Now the first question says we should find the angle RQP, that is angle A. Now I want to introduce you to the concept of cyclic quadrilateral, or let's just refresh our mind on it. So in cyclic quadrilateral, if you have a circle, okay, if you have a circle with a quadrilateral in it, let's call this trilateral like this. Quadrilateral has 4 sides, okay, and we'll have call it A, B, C, D, with angles A, B, C, and D respectively. So it's such that the opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral is equals to 180 degrees. So I'm saying these two are opposite to each other. Similarly, these two are opposite to each other. So the sum of the opposite angles A plus C is equals to 180 degrees, and the sum of B and C, D, is equals to 180 degrees. So now let's apply the same principle here. if we look at this circle now, we can see a cyclic quadrilateral of this form. Okay, so now with that cyclic quadrilateral now, we will understand that angle A plus this angle is equals to 180 degrees. Now the sum of this angle is 50 plus 41, which is equals to 91 degrees. So I am saying that A plus 91 degrees, let me say it's A, let me just write it somewhere here. A plus 91 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. Now it's the same angle formula we are applying, so we have solved the concept of RQP, which is question A. Now if we go to question B, which says we should find angle SPQ, which is B. Similarly, just as we had there, that B and D is equals to what? 180 degrees. So the sum of angles at this point, okay, let's just draw a big arc. Yep, a big arc, and the sum here will be 50 plus 50, which is 100 degrees. So we are saying that since opposite angles of cyclic quadrilateral are equal, then B plus 100 degrees, they are equals to 180. B plus 100 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. So let's just solve for A and B and we'll proceed on. So let's begin with A. A says A plus 91 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. The reason is the sum of opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral is 180 degrees. So with this we can evaluate the value of A. So A will be equals to 180 degrees minus 91, and A will be equals to 89 degrees. Now A is equals to, okay, A in this diagram is equals to angle RQP, which is equals to angle RQP. So let's move to question B. In question B, we are looking for angle SPQ, and angle SPQ, as we have established, is angle B is equals to B. And in B, we saw that B plus 100 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. So that B plus 100 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. And the reason is the same. The sum of angles in a opposite quadrilateral is 180 degrees. So we'll just duplicate this and bring it down here. So with reference to that, our B will be equals to 180 degrees minus 100, and B will be equals to 80 degrees. And B is equals to angle SPQ. So simple as ABC, we have solved question 4. And all it took us to solve it is to understand this cyclic quadrilateral. Now, proceeding on to question number 5. Now, this is a question on angle of elevation and depression. The question says, a boy stands at a point M on an horizontal level as the foot T of a vertical building. So, let's first depict this in a diagram. Now, it's standing at an horizontal level of point M. So, this is a horizontal level, and let's call it point M. And it's the same horizontal level as the foot T, okay, of a vertical building. So if you have a vertical building of this format, I just use a square to represent that, and we'll have a vertical building. Now, the question now says, he observes at the top an object at the top of the building P. So he observes the object at the top of the building P, and the angle of elevation of 66 degrees. So the boy is initially starting at point M, and when he looks at point P, he looks at it at an angle of 66 degrees. Now he moves directly backwards. Okay, he moves directly backwards. That means he moves to a new point of point C. and observe the same object at an angle of 53 degrees. So at point C, it looks at the same object and says this is at 53 degrees. Now we're given that MT is equals to 50 meters. And the first thing they ask us to do is to illustrate this information in the diagram, which we have done. So this is question A. Let's go over the question again. A boy stands at point M on the same horizontal level as foot T of a vertical building. This. He observes an object at the top of the building P at an angle of 66 degrees. He moves directly backwards to a new point C and observe the same object P, okay, at an angle of 53 degrees. MT is equals to 50 meters. So we have been able to establish this diagram now. And now let's just draw it in a more simple way. Remember, we are dealing with right angle triangle when we are solving questions based on angle of elevation and depression. So let's draw the right angle triangle. We have something like this. Let's zoom in. The right angle triangle. This is point T. This is point M. And this is point P. Now, if a guy moves backwards to a new point C, it is moving backwards to a new point C, and it looks again at this new point P. The angle here is 53 degrees. And the angle here is 66 degrees. So let's rewrite this: 53 degrees and 66 degrees. We're given that MT is equals to 50 meters and the building has a height H. Now, if we go to the next question says correct, okay, correct to one decimal place the height of the building. So we are looking at for height H. That's question 1. And question 2 says we should find MC. So we are looking for this distance. Let's call it X. So we are looking for height H and also distance X. So in view of this, let's begin. So let's begin by evaluating height H, B. This is question B now. To evaluate height H, we have to consider triangle MTP. So we are considering right angle triangle MTP. So once we consider right angle triangle MTP, we will have this C, P, and M, angle 66 degrees, and height H with base of 50 meters. So to solve this now, we are going to use trigonometric functions of SOHCAHTOA. Sine is equals to opposites over hypotenuse, cos adjacent over hypotenuse, tan opposite over adjacent. Now considering 66 degrees, the side facing the angle is the opposite and the other side is the adjacent. So what relates opposite and adjacent together is tan. So in view of that, we will have that tan 66 degrees is equals to opposite H divided by adjacent 50. So we can find the H to be equals to 50 multiplied by tan 66 degrees. Using our calculator, tan 66 degrees is 2.2460. Then the height H will be equals to 112.302 meters. Remember, we are converting, okay? We are correcting to one decimal place. So the converting to one decimal place, we have 112.3 meters as the height of the building. Now moving on, we want to find length MC, which is X. So to consider length MC, we have to consider triangle PTC or CTP, anyone. So let's consider triangle CTP. So considering triangle CTP now, let's draw the triangle. We have a right angle triangle of C, T, and P. The height H, we have it to give us 112.302 meters. Oh no, I'm using one decimal place. Now, what is length CP? Now, if this point MT is 50 meters, then length length MC is equals to X meters. So definitely length CT will be 50 plus X. So length CT, okay, this is P and this is T. So length CT is 50 plus X meters. And the angle here is 53 degrees. So just like we solved before, where we use tan 30, tan 66 degrees is equals to H over 50. We are going to apply the same thing here, but this time around we are going to say tan 53 degrees is equals to the opposite. Opposite is H, which is 112.3 divided by the adjacent, which is 50 plus X. So we are looking for X, so let's factorize, or let's cross multiply rather. What is tan 53 degrees? From our calculator, tan 53 degrees is 1.3270. Cross multiply it with 50 plus X to be equals to 112.3. So if we open the bracket, we will have 66.3522 plus 1.3270x to be equals to 112.3. So in view of this, we can find the value of x. So 1.3270x will be equals to 112.3 minus 66.3522. So 1.3270x would be equals to 45.9478. So we have the value of x to be equals to 45.9478 divided by 1.3270. So solving this, we will have x to give us 34.6253. 34.6253, and converting to one decimal place, x is equals to 34.6 meters, and x is equals to MC. So we have solved for MC, x, and we have also solved for height, h. Now let's solve WAEC 2023 theory question 6 together now, and it has two parts. It says M is a set that's component of n such that n 2n minus 3 is less than or equals to 37, where n is a counting number. And the first question says write down all the elements in M. So to do this now, we have to solve these inequalities of 2n minus 3 less than or equals to 37. So to solve these inequalities now, so we move minus 3 to the right hand side. So 2n is less than or equals to 37 plus 3. 2n is less than or equals to 40, and n is less than 40 divided by 2. So we have n less than or equals to 20. If we duplicate this expression, if we duplicate this, okay, we have carried this guy along. If we duplicate this expression, and wherever we see 2n minus 3 less than or equals to 37, we replace it with n less than or equals to 20. So we can write all the components of n less than or equals to 20. That means m is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down to 20. 7 down to 20. So these are the components of M. So we can write it out in full, but let's focus on the next question first. Now the next question says, if a number is selected at random from M, what is the probability that it will be A, multiples of 3, and B, factors of 10? So in this case, we have to write out everything of M. So we have 1, 2, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we have this also down to 20. For ease, we can just duplicate, and we'll have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Now, the first question says, what is the probability that it will be a multiple of 3? Probability of multiple of 3. Now, let's use blue for this. What are the multiples of 3 that we have here? 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. Multiplied by 5, 15. Multiplied by 6 is 18. So the multiples of 3 are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if they are 6 now, that will give us 6 divided by the total. The total is 20. And simplifying this further, it gives us 3 over 10. Now the next question says, factors of 10. What is the probability that it will be a factor of 10? Factor of 10. Now a factor of 10 symbolizes anything that can be multiplied by together to give us 10. So we have factors of 10: 1, 2, 5, and 10. Okay, and that is gives us 4 divided by 20. 4 divided by 20 is simplified further to give us 1 over 5. So we can see we found the component of M to be equals to 1 down to 20, and we simplified the multiples of 3 and the factors of 10. Now let's move on to the next question, which is question B. Let's do that on the next page. The question says, a shop owner gave an end of the year bonus to 2 of his attendees, Contour and Gapson, in the ratio of their ages. Okay, so Contour's age is 1.5 times that of Gapson, which is 20 years old. So we have Contour, and then we also have Gapson. Now, Contour's age is such that it is 1.5 years of Gapson. Okay, now Gapson is 20 years old, so we can find Contour's age. So we have Gapson's age is equals to 20 years old. So we can easily find Contour's age and say Contour age, non-tour age, non-tour's age will be equals to 1 over 2 multiplied by 20. This will give us 3 over 2 multiplied by 20, which is going to give us 30 years. Now we have non-tour's age is 30, Gapson's age is 20. So the ratio of their ages, non-tour ratio Gapson, is what? 30 ratio 20. Now let's go over the question again. A shop owner gave an end of the year bonus to 2 of his attendants, non-tour and Gapson, in the ratio of their ages. So the ages are 30 ratio 20. Non-tour's age is 1.5 times that of Gapson, which is 20 years old. Now, if non-tour receive $200,000, so non-tour receives $200,000. Find the total amount shared. That's question 1, and find Gapson's share. So Non-turn ratio gapsin, which is 30:20, can also be simplified to give 3:2. So the total ratio in this case is 3 plus 2, which is equals to 5. So in essence, we are saying that non-turn ratio, non-turn share, okay, is equals to the ratio of non-turn, let's say RK divided by total ratio, our total, multiplied by the total share, total amount being shared. And similarly, gapsin share is equals to the ratio of gapsin, as RG divided by the total ratio, RT. Pencil is fucking up. RG and RT multiplied by the total amount. So in view of this now, let's focus on the question. The question says find the total amount shared. So let's use the first expression to solve first question. We know that non-turn share given in the question is $200,000. So $200,000 is equals to the non-turn ratio is equals to 3 and the total ratio is equals to 5. So non-turn ratio is equals to 3, total ratio is equals to 5, and remember we are multiplying it by the total amount. So total amount. So with this expression now, we can find the total amounts being shared. So if you cross multiply, we will have 5 multiplied by 200,000 is equals to 3 multiplied by the total amount. So the total amount now will be equals to 5 multiplied by 200,000 divided by 3, which is equals to, if you simplify this, we will have 300, or let's just say 1,000, 1 million divided by 3. Okay, 1 million divided by 3, and this is equals to 333,000, 300 naira, 33 kobo. So let's call this D. So that is the total amount shared to be equals to this. Now the second question says find gapsin share. So that's second equation. We can see now that gapsin share is equals to the ratio of gapsin, okay, divided by the total ratio multiplied by the total amount. So if you duplicate this, gapsin share is equals to this divided by this multiplied by that. So the ratio of gapsin, as we can see in this expression, the ratio of gapsin is 2. Gapsin is 2 and the total ratio is 5, and the total amount is this, or we can use this expression. So we can find gapsin share now. Ratio of gapsin is 3, total ratio of gapsin is 2 rather. Two multiplied divided by total 5 multiplied by the total amount. Let's use 1 million divided by 3. So if we simplify this, we will have 400,000 divided by 3. Unit is dollars.